Today, I think we just witnessed a miracle. It is ridiculous. The Canon R5 II was announced, and not only does this offer amazing cinematic features that honestly will eat the C70 and the R5C for not even breakfast, as a snack, but probably the most amazing thing that this camera has introduced for the first time in history for Canon is a full HDMI port. Epic. Hi, I'm Jared Hoyman, and welcome back to the Crazy Train. And this train is going faster than ever before. And it's because of the R5 Mark II. And yes, I did pre-order it, and you can too, below. But since I love you all so much, I'm going to tell you that you can use the link below, or if you want it faster and you live in a town where you have a little camera store, those camera stores actually take precedence over most individual consumers. And so they're going to get a lot of stock, or a decent amount of stock, and not enough people that are really interested in them. So reach out to your local camera store. I use Camera Corner Connecting Point here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. No, I'm not sponsored. Now, I was super excited about the rumored specs about this camera, but now after seeing the real specs, I'm super excited. Like beyond. And it isn't because of the HDMI full port. You Sony people, what do you have to complain about now? Oh, yeah, there's a few of you out there. You'll get mad, you'll make a comment, and then I'll just delete it, because that's what I do. Now, I'm not going to go over all the specs, but I'm going to go over the specs that matter to me and that are more specific on why I really am now excited about this camera. And the fact I am no longer going to buy a cinema camera. I was planning on getting the R5C or the C70, and now this one just ate it for a snack. It is unbelievable. So the basics, it's 45 megapixels, it's a back illuminated sensor, and it has the auto eye tracking focus through the viewfinder, which is honestly was one of the main reasons why I wanted it. The R3 has it. Now the R5 II has it, and it's even better than ever. That's what made me excited. So everything else on top is like Christmas to me. As an R6 II and an R7 user, I am not familiar with the R5, the Mark I, so I'm not sure if this is actually on the R5, but what caught my attention is you do have the option of 23.98 frames per second, right? Or an even 24 now. And instead of Cinema Lite, they now have what is called Small RAW for video in 8K, which will be interesting. But guess what? That doesn't do a whole lot to me. I am excited to test out the RAW features, but you know what's even more exciting and that everybody complained about when it came to Canon? C-Log 2. Yes, C-Log 2 is now finally here, and it's pretty much like a cinema camera now with C-Log 2. That's going to be amazing. And you know what else is amazing? The fact that you can actually shoot 10-bit non-log. So have a regular picture profile without log in 10-bit. It's going to be great. Now, they are claiming that the IBIS has improved quite a bit, especially in the center and even on the edges. We will know if the 14 to 35 or the 15 to 35 really proves that to be true when shooting at 14 or 15 millimeters. I will be doing those tests. So by the way, if you haven't already, we're early into this video, I will be doing lots of tests, more tests than I ever have with a camera when this one is released and it's in my hands. So if you want to see more tests of me walking down my sidewalk or driveway and tracking and all the weird stuff that I do when it comes to Canon tracking and Canon testing, well, then you're going to want to subscribe because I get weird. Did I mention that there's a brand new battery in this too? Oh, I mean, it's the same size, don't get me wrong, but it is now called the LPE6P. And in order to get a lot of these features, you actually need that battery, even though the old one will fit and work but whoa. Not to mention, you're also going to be getting some ventilation with the fan on the back, which is great, and an accessory that you can add on that gives you even more venting for longer recording. This is becoming more and more a cinema camera. Now, one of the big features that really intrigued me, and I'm excited about this camera when it comes to the photo end, is the deep learning when it comes to subjects, people, but the fact that you could take a picture of somebody and tell the camera to memorize that face, that person, and in the future, anytime the camera sees that person, it will put them as priority. Now, as a dad of 3 kids who are in school, concerts all the time, I'm always shooting up there, and it's just picking the kid that is not mine. That is not my kid. And I want that tracking to be right on my child all the time. And now I can have deep learning and know that my kid will always be in focus. So when it comes to photography, the eye retina autofocusing feature that you have in that viewfinder is huge for me. That deep learning when it comes to individuals, that you can have it programmed and it continuously learns. The autofocus sounds like it's going to be one of the best out there, if not the best out there at this point. That is huge when it comes to photography. Now, when it comes to the architectural photography, which is my business, it really isn't going to do much difference for me. But since this is a hybrid camera and I'm using it for video and photo, the photography end of things also is diverse, because although I'm using it for inanimate objects that don't move, I'm also using it for family events and also client events as well when documenting their get-togethers. But here's where I'm really excited when it comes to video. As somebody who does video walkthroughs for real estate and businesses, C-Log 2 is going to be a game changer when it comes to having it in these mirrorless cameras, because C-Log 2 is now going to give you more dynamic range. They claim 16 stops of dynamic range. Is that possible? Is it an exaggeration? Well, we're going to find out. Again, subscribe, because that is going to be a huge test with C-Log 2. So we're going to be doing C-Log 2 tests to see if I do get that dynamic range, but if it is even close to that, it is worth it. Did you also pre-order the R5 II, or did you pre-order the R1? That one is a big overkill for me. The R5 II seems to be the best value. It is not cheap, $4,300. But if you're doing it for a business like I am, or if you have the money and it doesn't hurt you, well, then go ahead, go for it. What are the things you want to see me test out that you would want to know once you have it? Because I'm going to go ape on this camera. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out these videos over here. They're fun.